to tonight's spring instrumental concert at Kennett Middle School. I'm Jake Moore, I'm one of the assistant principals here. And I want to open with a quote that I think is appropriate. It's on my phone. Okay, this was published in the newspaper in the UK, and it says that playing a musical instrument makes you smarter. It has been claimed. New research suggests that regularly playing an instrument changes the shape and power of the brain and may be used in therapy to improve cognitive skills. It can even increase IQ by 7 points in both children and adults, according to researchers. This is the part where I admit to everybody I've never played an instrument, so I'm sorry. But I study really hard. But something interesting I want you all to know about Kennett Middle School, we have these reports, we call them pulse reports, and it's just a little snapshot of how our kids are doing. 16% of our students, and we have 1,019 kids in this building, 16% play sports, okay? And this world is in love with sports. 25% of our students participate in orchestra or band. So we're incredibly proud of that number. I know everybody thinks tonight is about the kids, and it is, but the first group of people I'd like to thank are the parents for all the support that you provide and make our lives even easier. Thank you. And our teachers here, Mr. Whistler, Mrs. Williams, and filling in style in the interim, Mr. Marty Beach, he's a local favorite, are second to none, and we are so fortunate to have them here at the middle school. And lastly, the show ultimately is about our students who have worked very hard on developing their musical talents, and I know they're looking forward to showing off for everybody tonight. Specifically, with one item on this list, I look down and I see you're going to play Stairway to Heaven, which, I think is going to be great. For all those Steelers fans out there, you know we call it Stairway to Seven. You got anybody in the crowd? Any Steelers fans? And I'll stand alone, happily. I'm fine with that. Without further ado, thank you for coming. I won't take up more of your time. We're going to start with a pre-recorded message, and then we'll dive into the music. Thank you again.
And welcome to our spring instrumental concert. The group that you see in front of you is the 7th and 8th grade orchestra. Music for the Royal Fireworks was composed by Handel in 1749 for a celebration in London. This is one of Handel's most well-known works. Those of you who attend Bancroft may recognize this as your school song.
2004. In this piece, Czech composer Smetana uses a technique called the tone painting to describe the river known as Moldau that runs through what is now currently known as Czech Republic.
Before we move on to our last selection, I just wanted to say a few words. Just to echo what Mr. Moore said, as I'm sure most of you have noticed, playing these instruments involves so many different skills and so many of them translate into other areas of life and academics. So playing an instrument really does lend itself well to being successful in many other areas of life and academics. And I think Mr. Moore is selling himself short. I heard he played a mean reporter at one point. We have some thank yous coming up, but I'll add a quick thank you to Mr. Beach, who was my long-term sub. He's like, why do you keep doing this at every concert? This is it. This is the last one. He was my long-term sub in the fall when I was on maternity leave, and he did a really wonderful job working with these students, and I think everyone enjoyed it. I'm going to pass the mic to Julia.
Before we play our final selection, we would like to thank Mr. DeAngelis, Ms. Levi, and Mr. Moore, our teachers, our parents, and the KMS custodians for making tonight happen and for their support of our program. Please enjoy our final piece, Hungarian Memories.
Ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to resume our concert with the concert band. Concert band is our 6th and 7th grade students, primarily. We work on intermediate level music. We have a pretty great selection tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have 3 tunes that we're going to be playing. The first one is called Freedom's Force. It's considered a concert march. It's not quite a traditional march. That's why they consider it a concert march. The second tune that we're doing, At Sight, comes from the Harold Bennett series. It's actually arranged by a great composer, Larry Clark, who also composes the final selection we're doing. But At Sight is more of a traditional march. It's a very challenging piece of music, and it's going to be primarily featuring our advanced 6th grade students with a level help from everybody else. Hang on tight for that one. That one's pretty tricky. That is more of a traditional march, but we're not going to take all the repeats. And then for our final selection today with concert band, we're going to be doing a piece of music called Conflict. Conflict is arranged by Larry Clark. It's a band favorite. They like Conflict. It's a lot of fun. This one's that standard, big, loud, fast kind of band tune. So I hope you really enjoy it. The 3 titles kind of imply that it's this is kind of a salute to the troops, being 3 days after Memorial Day. So thank you if you have served. Thank you for your service. This is kind of dedicated to you. When they sit in the back of the gym for a while, because of the temperature in the room and whatnot, it's important that I tune them. And going individually gets them to that point where, like that chorale that we just played was really, really locked in. Now, when we were tuning, some of them were up, some of them were down. It happens with the elements in the room, and it's just important to tune. Thank you so much for your patience. You guys were awesome for that. Our first piece of music that we're going to be performing as a symphonic band this evening is Celebration in Song. Celebration in Song is a pretty long chart. It's in typical ABA format, so in the beginning you're going to get a lot of this really exciting, fun, typical band style, where you start fast and in the middle gets a little slow and tender, and then the end ends exciting. So this one's a lot of fun. It features pretty much every section in the band. And then the second tune that we're going to be going to is kind of a mouthful, Cluster, Fluster, Bluster March. David Holsinger is a composer from Texas, and he's a phenomenal composer. He composes really high-end band literature. But he also composes some really, really awesome middle-level music. The Cluster, Fluster, Bluster March is an atonal march, which means it doesn't have a tone center. So we played at site with a concert band, and the concert band played a traditional march. The symphonic band is going to play something that's a little quirkier, so to speak. So I hope you enjoy the next two selections, then I'll talk to you about the last two. So here we go. costumes as a symphonic band, we are going to be doing two fan favorites. We are going to be performing Stairway to Heaven. We'll see. Stairway to Heaven's a good time. I talked about the composer and all the artists involved, but I imagine everybody knows about those. The final piece of music that we're going to be doing is a compilation of all of the Harry Potter movies. So from start to finish. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you. And we're going to have a brief transition between symphonic band into jazz band. During that transition, I am going to kill the front half of the lights. And Mrs. Mancuso is going to announce the 50-50 winner. So here we go. This is Stairway to Heaven, followed by Magic of Harry Potter. A minute before we go there. Every year we need to raise at least $600 in order to cover the scholarships, because we offer 3 scholarships for $200 plus a few other things. The 2 combined chorus rehearsals or concerts, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little loopy. We raised $300. And the fact that you guys got us to our 600 tonight is really awesome. So thank you, really, seriously. This is going to take a couple of minutes. I just have to make sure that everything's plugged in. So go ahead, please talk amongst yourself. middle school jazz band. And that tune that you just heard, made very famous by the Kennett Orchestra, is Malaguena. Malaguena is a good time. Malaguena featured Bella McLaughlin on tenor saxophone, Evan Sharp on alto, and Gavin Seaman on trombone. That also had the styles of Mr. Tommy McChesney on the drums. The next tune is more of a laid-back swing, kind of comfy feel. Don't Get Around Much Anymore. Don't Get Around Much Anymore features Miss Josette Wynn on piano. And it also adds yet another solo by Mr. Gavin Maxwell. Selection. I always forget to do this. So I'd like to say thank you. I'd like to say thank you to administration. I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Moore for coming out tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Also, I'd like to thank Mr. DeAngelis, Ms. Levi. I'd like to thank Dr. Tomasetti, our superintendent. I would like to thank the directors of the school board in the Kennett Consolidated School District. I'm getting a little loopy. I would like to thank the custodial staff. They set up most of this, and then they take it all down when you guys leave. And they're really awesome people, so they did really, let's give them a special. I would like to thank Ms. Muley and Ms. Mancuso for coming out and helping tonight. And I'm going to echo what Mr. Moore said about thanking the parents. I would really, really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, parents. I understand that the practice logs can be a bear. When your kid forgets their instrument at home and they call you at work and they're like, He's gonna give me a 0. Bring it in. And you're like, oh, darn trumpet. And then you have evenings like this, where I hope you really enjoyed the performance. This all happens because of your support. It happens because you push them to practice. And it happens because you care enough to make them do this, or have them do this, or support them doing this. So thank you so much, really. Selection, Soul Man, is a good time. It's a lot of fun. It's a rock chart. It's going to feature Soleil Jevtich on the alto saxophone. It's going to feature Jenna Oaks on trumpet. And it's going to feature Miss Julia Hahn on trombone. All to the styles of Mr. Luke Suma on the drums.